Energy efficiency, doing more with less energy, is a simple concept that reaps major benefits. For that reason, energy efficiency is always part of the solution to energy and environmental challenges here in the U.S. and abroad. Born out of the oil embargo of the 1970s, the Alliance to Save Energy's mission has been to improve the efficiency of America's energy consumption. Here with me now is Kateri Callahan, the president of the Alliance to Save Energy. Kateri, what motivates people to save energy? Is it about saving money, or is it more than that?
It's, you know, Bill, it really is about saving money. That is the biggest motivator. There are lots of other reasons that people should want to save energy and that some people are working on it. It's good for our national security because the less energy we use, the less we have to import, and the more secure our nation imports.
But that doesn't drive you out to buy a more energy efficient
refrigerator. It doesn't. We've done so many studies on this, and we've done a lot of consumer education and outreach campaigns, and what really motivates is money. And the other thing is comfort in the home, particularly when you look at ceiling leaks and insulating. Yes, people are saving money, and sometimes as much as 20% on their heating and cooling bills, but they're also more comfortable in the home. It's not drafty, so they're nice and warm and cozy in the winter and cool in the summer. So those are big motivators. Beyond that, it gets to preserving our national resources. People do care about that. They care about things that are looking them in the face, the health of their family, of their community.
And do you
so
think
those are good motivators.
that concern is still there now? Or
I think it is. I think it is. I think that, you know, you set aside the whole debate on climate change and what we need to do to address that and start talking about energy efficiency in terms of what we know people care about today, which is jobs, which is energy security, which is our global competitiveness. It's a win-win-win on all of those, and we're protecting and conserving our natural resources, and we're improving our environment. So, you know, we went across the board, and you don't have to have the debate about whether global climate change is coming, whether we should tax carbon. You don't need to have that debate.
So you think there's enough support? I mean, what it all boils down to in Washington is political support. You think there are the votes to pass the sort of initiatives that move energy efficiency beyond where it is today?
I do, Bill. I'm hopeful. And beyond that, you know, if you look at our board of directors at the Alliance to Save Energy, we've got sitting members of Congress as honorary members of our board.
From both parties?
Both parties, both houses, both chambers, and really the far ends of the political spectrum, running from as conservative as Congressman Mike Burgess is from Texas on the Energy and Commerce Committee, to as liberal as Ed Markey, also on the Energy and Commerce Committee. So that's a pretty wide range. On the Senate side, we very fortunately have Senator Jeff Bingaman, who's the chair of the Energy Committee, and the ranking member, Lisa Murkowski. So we've got the two leaders of the Senate Energy Committee, both of whom are very committed to energy efficiency, and I'm hopeful that we can get something done because they're hopeful that we can.
Does energy efficiency need the same sort of support that renewables need? Renewables, it's a big battle for them right now to try to get attention on Capitol Hill.
Right.
Does the energy efficiency business need the same sort of support?
We need different things, but some of the things are similar that we could use. I mean, what we try to do with the energy efficiency legislation is overcome market barriers because, for one, most of the technologies that you need to drive energy efficiency fully into the economy already exist. So it's really a function of finding the financing to allow people to make the investment in the energy efficiency upgrades, making sure that we keep technologies coming in the pipeline, so R&D funding is necessary, making sure that we provide consumers with the best energy choices, so putting in place appliance standards, equipment standards that get the inefficient junk out of the market. Those are the kinds of things that will really drive energy efficiency. So looking at incentives for people to make the investment, looking at R&D, and then looking at codes and standards, building energy codes, appliance and equipment standards to get rid of the inefficient, I'll call it, junk in the marketplace.
Your members visited more than 20 offices of lawmakers the other day on Capitol Hill. What kind of feedback were they getting? And I might add, they were doing this in the midst of this very difficult debate over spending in the government and the House of Representatives.
That's absolutely right.
People don't want to spend more money.
People don't want to spend more money in the House of Representatives, but if you look at the President's proposed budget that came out on Monday, he actually is looking at a 45% increase to the energy efficiency and the renewable energy budget at the Department of Energy, and increasing, very importantly, I believe, the EPA Energy Star program. So he's looking at big increases, even though he's slashing the budget in other places.
And this is going to sell well with Republican leaders?
I'm hopeful. But again, if you look at what the House leadership proposed to do to the current fiscal year, it's not a good sign. They're looking at cutting our programs by about 35%.
You have your work cut out for you.
We have our work, but I tell you what we found in those meetings is that there's a lot of support for the consensus appliance and equipment standards that are on the table that almost made it through the Senate at the end of the last Congress, but for one objection of one senator, that would have gone on the unanimous consent calendar. So I think you're going to see that. Senators Murkowski and Bingaman will introduce it again. It's a huge, huge win. It will save about 7% of the non-oil energy between now and 2030. It'll save consumers $43 billion. So there's no reason not to do it.
Hey, we've got about 1 minute left, Kateri. One thing I really want to get at is light bulbs. In 2007, the Congress passed a law that said incandescent light bulbs would be phased out starting in 2012. And it wasn't controversial at the time. It is now, and some Republican leaders say they want to repeal that.
Right.
What's prompting that?
I think it's really a misunderstanding and misinformation in the marketplace. Let me tell you why we shouldn't do it. That bill is going to save each American household about $200 in avoided energy costs. So if you repeal it, that's like putting a $200 per family tax. They say they want to repeal it because, it will phase out the incandescent light bulb. It won't. It's only going to phase out inefficient incandescent lighting. You're still going to have halogen, which is an incandescent. It's going to work. People are going to have lots of choice.
We'll see where that goes. Kateri Callahan with the Alliance to Save Energy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill.
You're watching Platt's Energy Week.